Powerful collaborations, cutting-edge science, and curious minds coming together for a glimpse of the future. Stay tuned as we look at the latest updates on some of the most promising technology projects. Hello and welcome. I'm Peter Ballant from Technicon. Today we are pleased to introduce an EU-funded project called EXFILES. To understand the goals of EXFILES, you have to understand a bit about the modern mobile phone. As of late, it has become the device in our pocket or purse which contains a lot of our data. In many cases, this data is sensitive, for your eyes only. Phone manufacturers have addressed this privacy issue by giving the user the ability to encrypt the contents of their device. And when I say encrypt, I mean taking the readable data and altering it so that it appears random. A total lockout for anyone without the password. I think we'd all agree that encryption is a viable solution, but now let's look at this from another angle. Imagine a law enforcement agency that has recovered a criminal's locked phone, which may contain evidence of a crime that has already happened, or worse, future criminal plans that could be prevented. This is a situation that we will definitely see more of, and law enforcement needs the tools to do their job, to extract data from locked phones. This is a big deal, and this is exactly what EXFILES is all about. To find ways to access protected evidence by using semiconductor industry knowledge coupled with software exploitation techniques. And of course, this all must be done within a legal and ethical framework. Oh, and one more thing. The phone makers have no obligation or persuasion to help. In fact, their hands are tied. Encryption is end-to-end, and there is no one in the middle. The EXFILES consortium is made up of 14 partners from 7 different European countries. These partners are a mix of law enforcement agencies, high-tech SMEs, research organizations, and universities. Here with us today is the technical lead from EXFILES, Assia Tria. She joins us from CEA, a technological research organization and project partner based in France. Welcome, Assia, and thanks for coming on today.
Welcome.
As I mentioned a minute ago, encryption is the reason for the EXFILES project. Can you tell us what aspect of encryption EXFILES is focused on?
Yes, EXFILES focuses on mobile forensics and targets all modern handheld communication devices, such as smartphone and tablet computers. So what you may know is that terrorists and other criminals use secure features available to the public, such as secure communication applications like Signal or Telegram, or encrypted smartphone. And in this condition, extract evidences represent a huge challenge for law enforcement agencies. Due to the improved proprietary cryptographic implementations like Apple Secure Enclave, for example, it is impossible to obtain evidence from a modern smartphone. It's why EXFILES aims to address the mandatory need to develop new methods to allow fast access by LEA to these encrypted data in accordance with a legal framework. EXFILES provides mobile forensic technology to LEA to enable them to extract digital evidence from modern encrypted smartphone. And this requires, for example, to combine the heterogeneous expertise of the partners coming from the hardware, software, and cryptography to create novel solutions, to adapt usual techniques coming from common criteria cybersecurity testing laboratories to address such a challenge, and to provide tools and guidelines for fast and reliable mobile forensic analysis, to setting up a collaborative platform to share these methods for European LEAs.
Okay, so it sounds like the X-Files project is going to find a way for the law enforcement officials to do their job even when some evidence might be on a locked phone somewhere and they don't have access to it. So it's sort of maybe opening some doors in terms of doing
Hmm.
forensic work.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Asya, tell us your specific role in X-Files.
As a technical leader, I am responsible for ensuring that the project's technical objectives are met with the respect to the selected application fields, and I supervise the overall technical content in regards with the description of work of the project. I set the baseline for technological assumption of the project. So this means that I schedule the technical meetings, if appropriate and needed, and I take the lead in the technical decision. I am also in charge of monitoring the overall technical progress of the project and the quality of deliverables, and leads any discussion that might be required mediation.
And tell us at the end, when this project is done, what do you hope to have? I mean, are you making something? Are you developing a technology or maybe some kind of software tools or both?
Yes, X-Files aim at finding advanced technological breakthrough beyond state-of-the-art to enable recovery of encrypted evidence in modern smartphone. Currently, forensic extractions of such data is very limited and even impossible if the password or the PIN code chosen by the user is strong enough. So it's limited the analysis. So in this in the X5 project, it is based on the fact that we assume that it is mandatory to address the whole system, software and hardware, and that's why within the X-Files, both software and hardware will be first explored. Then the result collected will be combined to produce new forensic methods for effective data extraction from encrypted device. We will focus in this project on improvement of existing techniques from the software approach. By existing techniques, it could be fuzzing, reverse engineering, bypass different advanced security mechanisms. We propose also to use techniques commonly used in the semiconductor industry for failure analysis or circuit modification of integrated circuit. This is made possible by the use of sophisticated equipment like scanning electron microscope, SEM, or focused ion beam. Using such equipment, it's possible to connect different parts of the device and to disconnect also some part of the device. And we focus also on techniques used to conduct security evaluation for conformance to the common criteria standard like side channel analysis or fault injection. As these attacks are not fully destructive, it is important because these techniques present high interest in the forensic context, that the fact that the evidence is not destroyed and we can exploit the evidence. So the X5 project will adapt these attacks on modern encrypted smartphones.
Okay, so now it's clear what X-Files is trying to do, but I'm curious what measures are in place to ensure that these solutions are not used for nefarious purposes, for example, falling into the wrong hands.
Yes, it's the main problem is that we are in a context of forensic and law enforcement agencies. We take care in this project that EXFILES will be devoted to extract personal data from encrypted evidence, and this data is not processed in the context of this work. And the confidentiality is a key parameter to protect the public as well as the forensic capabilities. And indeed, in this project, LEA will only use the result in a legal context, judiciary or administrative, complying with the EU and the domestic rule and policies. So the research carried out under the umbrella of digital forensic has to deal with the ethical dilemma of whether to make the results public for the benefit of general public, or to keep the results confidential, which will enable LEA to be able to retrieve valuable data for legal investigation. It's a dilemma. So EXFILES understand this challenge, and for this purpose aim to develop a comprehensive ethics framework that can be used in such situation to make the decision whether to keep finding confidential or making it public. It's why in this project we have partners that are specialists of law and can help us in respecting this ethical aspect of the project, ethical and legal aspect of the project.
Okay, and speaking of your partners, tell us what kind of partners you could find in EXFILES. I mean, I'm assuming it has to be some sort of law enforcement agencies for sure.
Yes, sure. The EXFILES consortium is composed of 14 partners coming from seven different European countries: Austria, France, Spain, Germany, Netherlands, UK, and Norway. All partners provide extensive knowledge and long-lasting experience for the development of the targeted methodology for LEA and mobile decryption. The consortium is well balanced with a mix of 5 law enforcement agencies: ERCGN, BTA, CNI, NFI, and NCIS. 5 high-tech SMEs: Technicon, Rescue, Texplain, CyberIntel, and Synactive. 2 research and development organizations, CA and CISC, and 2 university, RULE and University of Lille.
So this is a nicely rounded set of partners with a lot of different skills that could really get to the heart of what this project is all about. So yeah, it sounds good. And then now I'm curious, the project has been underway for over a year now, I believe. Is that right?
Yes, in fact, EXFILES is a 3 years project who started in July 2020. It was not simple due to the COVID pandemic, but we have started in July, and we are at the very beginning of the project, but in the time we have started to launch a benchmark, to choose the target where we will make our first test. When I said target, it's to choose the different kind of mobile phone that we will work on. And we started the first test and experiments on this target. I cannot say more think about the first result because some results are confidential, but the project is ongoing, and even if the context is not easy, we are on the good assumption.
That sounds good. And did you have any kind of major challenges along the way?
In fact, as I said, we are starting the project with the COVID pandemic, and at the beginning was not really easy because each people was on the different countries. We have not been the opportunity to meet us in the same room and to discuss together. So all the meetings are virtually. So it works. We exchange each week together. The only problem is the access to the different equipment, because depending on the rules in each countries, sometimes it's not possible to have access to equipment, and the problem that limited the project right now, it's just the fact that we need to experiment, as I said, to launch side channel attacks, faults, and so on. And in the context of the COVID, it's limited, and it's the main challenge that we must do in the short time. For the rest of the project, we are online with the description of work. All the deliverables have been delivered in time, so it's on the well road.
Yeah. And this is kind of an interesting project because when this project was designed and people were giving their input about how this project should go, there was no idea that this COVID pandemic would happen. But then in the beginning of the project, you were hit hard with this. You didn't even have a kickoff meeting. It was virtual, right?
Yes, it was virtual. It was in July. We organized the kickoff virtually. And we thought that in January it was possible, for example, to meet us. But even in January there is a new rule and so on, and we haven't got the opportunity to meet us, and we hope that this year will be possible because it will be 1 year without having any interaction. When I said interaction, it's a physical interaction. With a meeting, with exchange, so for the moment, it's all the meeting and all the interaction are virtually. But we hope that this year will change, because in the project it was planned to exchange expertise, to invite some partners to work together on specific experiment or attacks and so on, and due to the COVID, and it's not possible right now to travel and to have such an exchange.
Yeah, and I hope this changes for the sake of the project, that you can actually get to the point where you can meet face to face with some of your partners, because that's an important part of any project, is this interaction between partners.
Yes, and mainly in this project because we have experiment. Some partners have specific tools, like a specific bench, attack bench or reverse engineering bench, and it was forecasted in the project to have technical meetings and to progress together on the same equipment. And with the COVID, it's not possible for the moment, but we hope that it will be okay before the end of the project.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, the good news is that we could check in again down the road and see how things are going. But until then, we wish you all the best and much success. And thanks for your efforts in this European project.
Thank you, Peter.
Okay, we'll talk soon.
Okay, thank you.
For more information about EXFILES, visit the project website at exfiles.eu. That's EXFILES.eu. This podcast has been brought to you by Technicon. The EXFILES project has received funding from the European Union's Horizon 2020 Research and Innovation Program under Grant Agreement number 883156.